Yo, Jay, quick question for you. Sure, what's up? How the hell did you score an 8.5 on your IELTS exam? Like, how the did you score on? Now, that's a great question. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. But hold up. Before we start, I gotta show you guys something first. For anyone who thinks that I'm bluffing. So this is my IELTS exam report card. Please don't judge on the profile photo. It's been a while. If you're gonna judge on it, not cool. The most important thing on this paper is the score, which I got an overall of 8.5. I got 8.5 in listening, 9.0 in reading, 7.0 in writing. Writing is not my thing. But speaking, I got 8.5. And the overall score is 8.5. Now that you know it's legit, let's dive into how you can get there too. So the IELTS exam has 4 parts. I'm sure you all know it. Reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Trying to tackle all 4 at once, that's basically suicide. So here's the game plan. We're breaking it down into 2 parts. Number 1, input. Number 2, output. Input covers the part of exam where you're absorbing information, such as reading and listening. This is the part where you should get high marks because it's literally free marks. This is the part where your brain just needs to absorb stuff and match it up with one of the 4 answers. Simple as that. You see, input is the easy part. It doesn't require much thinking unless you didn't understand something. Then yeah, you'll be guessing and stressing, which is not cool. And between the two, reading's a bit easier, in my opinion. So let's first talk about reading. To get better at reading, the best thing you can do is practice, practice, and practice. Start by getting your hands on all the past IELTS exam papers and just grind through them. Buy the whole set and just dive in. Now, I'm not sure what level you're at, but I used the same strategy for the TF French exam when the only French word that I knew back then was bonjour. And let me tell you, it was a nightmare. My goal was very straightforward. I just wanted to crack that exam. So I didn't bother with any other materials. I dove right in, head first. And yeah, it hurts. It was painful because I couldn't even read past the first sentence. Wait, let me show you guys something. Check this out. This is one of my French learning notebooks. Look at all those red lines. Man, this is so crazy. I highlighted the 3rd word on the first sentence. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. I can't even read past the first sentence at the beginning. Look at this. There's more red than black on this page. It's so crazy. I'd highlight every phrase and word that I didn't understand, and then I'd rewrite them like over and over. And before bed, I'd open my notebook again and review everything that I wrote during the day. And I have to say, this is a terrific way to improve your sleep quality. Honestly, I felt stupid because 30 minutes in and I'm still on line 5. That's ridiculous. But hey, ignore all those negative feelings because this is absolutely normal. You just gotta put in the time to understand the gibberish and let your brain process it. Oh yeah, and by the way, do not try to time yourself like the exam in the first few weeks because that's like setting a trap to make yourself feel like a loser. That's not cool. In the first few weeks, just read for half an hour a day. On the second week, bump it up to 40 minutes. Look guys, in the first few weeks, you just want to read with understanding the phrases, the words as the only goal in mind. That's it. Don't time yourself. Just read and understand. It's a process and you just have to be patient. Give your brain some time and eventually there will be fewer red underlines, you know? Things will just click eventually. Now let's talk about listening. Contrary to reading, I don't recommend jumping straight into test materials for listening. But hey, I don't know what your current level is at. I'm just speaking from my experiences in learning French, where I didn't know a single word apart from bonjour or baguette. From my experience, listening becomes easier if you can nail reading first. If you can read and understand, that means your brains are already linking phrases and words, which lays a solid foundation for listening. Remember the first time hearing a new language or a new dialect in Chinese? It sounds like... I'm not trying to make fun of any language out there. I'm just simply illustrating the fact that you can't distinguish or identify the words, the phrases, or the sentences in this new sound that you're hearing. My point is, since you've been practicing reading and you're able to understand the reading materials, and that means your brain's got the data on this new language. It knows its phrases, the structure, the grammars, because you're able to understand it already. And now when you hear this new sound, All your brain gotta do is to process the sounds and connect them to its database. Basically, what we're trying to do here is we're reducing our brain's workload by splitting up the processes. Because if you throw too much unknown information at your brain all at once, it's just gonna go on strike and stop working. Maybe it'll explode eventually. So to sum up, practice reading past exam paper first and listen to something fun while you're still struggling with reading. Because as you can see from my past French notebooks, reading is not fun. So you gotta listen to something fun when you're doing something not fun. Perhaps like watching TV shows or listening to podcasts and music, things that you are interested in. For me personally, I love listening to music radio stations because they cut between dialogues and music. It's like work and rest. Work and rest. But if you listen to stations like BBC or some other news channel, then it's pure work. There's no enjoyment at all. So choose your content wisely and don't rush to understand everything people say, and just try to identify words, phrases, and sentences at the beginning. And once you're solid in reading, your ears are probably already accustomed to the new sound of the language. And now it's time for some real IELTS listening. And by now, listening should be a piece of cake. I feel like my method is like if you have zero knowledge about working out and you decide to spend some time online learning how to train yourself, which is doable and cost efficient, of course. However, this exploration might take some time. And if the clock's ticking, maybe you need a private one-on-one coach. And that brings us to 实战雅思. You just gotta tell them what's your current level and what's your goal and how much time you've got. Maybe your exam is like a few weeks away. And voila, they'll come up with a personalized strategy to help you ace that exam within 150 hours. Check this out. Every day, there are new lessons to take online. So you get the basics. They will follow up with exercise to practice what you've just learned. And if you mess up, it's all good because they'll correct you right away. And I think this is the coolest part of 百词斩雅思 because it uses AI to evaluate your mistakes and adapts new strategies just for you. Its AI assesses your grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation accuracy. On top of that, it also provides you with the correct thought process for answering questions, ensuring your responses are not only accurate, but also logically sound. This personalized feedback allows the AI to adjust the learning strategy specifically for you. All in all, this app is all about efficiency. You don't have to worry about what materials to study or what to buy. Everything you need for IELTS preparation, like the Cambridge IELTS paper that I mentioned earlier, question banks for speaking tests, high-scoring essay samples, and all you gotta do is just focus on learning how to ace the exam. Alright, but if you're like me and you prefer learning solo, then let's talk about writing. I'm not sure how you feel, but to me, writing is easier than speaking. Because in writing, you've got time to think, you know? You got the time. But in speaking, it's live and you gotta hit back instantly. In writing, you just need a good memory. Memorize the structure, the phrases that fit in multiple situations, and the vocabs, and that's it. But I know it can be challenging, especially if your memory is bad like mine. Like seriously, I've got the worst memory. I've got my mom to help me recall my childhood memories and my girlfriend to remind me what happened last week. So I've got a pretty bad memory. Anyways, if you're like me who has a shitty memory, then you just gotta put in the work. Let me show you guys how much work I put in for my shitty memory. Again, this is one of my French notebooks. It's just page after page after page of non-stop writing, you know? For writing, it was simple. I just kept on writing day in and day out. I try to read 2 samples essays every day, copy them 2 to 3 times. Then I try to write my own version and have a teacher correct it. And eventually, my brain got it. All right, and now let's move on to the final and the most challenging part of all, speaking. Speaking is a pain in the ass, literally. It's where everything comes together. Grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure, logic, critical thinking. Everything's gotta align. Let's cut to the chase. Speaking well literally means to speak without thinking. Let me explain. It's like when you're on autopilot in your native language. You don't think about forming sentences. You don't think about what words to use. You don't think about whether it's past tense, present tense, or future tense. all you think about is your ideas and your thoughts. But when it comes to a foreign language, you're putting in 200% of effort just to translate your thoughts. And at the same time, you're facing a real person and you don't want to look stupid. And that's why speaking can be so daunting. And let's fix this. When I was preparing for my French exam, I went online and found French teachers, plural, teachers. I checked out their profile. Usually they've got this self-intro video. And after watching their introduction video, I'd ask myself if I would enjoy having a chat with them. And I have met some very interesting folks online. Just to name a few, for instance, a French veteran who served in West Africa, a Parisian who moved to Poland because of feminism, an African French guy trying to be a celebrity in South Korea. I honestly had really fun conversations with them. And this is the real purpose of language, to communicate and exchange ideas. Forget about the speaking test and be curious first, and try to exchange thoughts with someone thousands of miles away. And don't stress about making mistakes, because you paid for their time and they've got a responsibility to be patient and help you express your ideas. Speaking was real tough for me during the French exam. I'm not kidding. A week before the test, I hired 2 different teachers every day to practice my speaking. It's funny and it's ironic because speaking is the hardest part, for me at least, but it's the most interesting one. Don't feel bad if you're struggling with speaking, because language, it is a very super complex matter, and we all make tons of mistakes at first, and that's absolutely normal. And that's it, guys. That's essentially everything. Reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Take it a step at a time. Take it easy, and you get that 8.5 like that. And last but not the least, if you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
I was born on the south side of